One of the fundamental contradictions and paradoxes with and about time is that it neither begins nor ends. It neither begins nor can it ever come to an end because it's always infinity, because it's always removed from human creation, development, talent, desire, want, ambition, and essentially everything else that's living, that's human, is ultimately controlled, governed, and led by time because all the beings, and that means all the living organisms that have their own time live inside and within the boundaries and constraints and barriers of both time and space, and not just life in one or another. And it's because of the time that we have been assigned and designated to by the universe that is ultimately limited, that we come to an end, that there is an end to us, that we die, not that life ends, but because of time, life ends, because of the barriers, restrictions of the time that concerns beings and living organisms, and also human beings in turn, that we die, that they die, disappear, vanish also again into the universe, which is their origin, from where we came, from where our soul originated, carrying messages and ambitions, desires, goals planted onto it upon our minds, and then using us as actors and bodies to fulfill and carry out those missions, ambitions, goals, intentions, aspirations in the world that the universe wanted us fulfilled. And that's why there is so much greatness, science, technology, philosophy in the world, not because of the human beings' own struggles, pains, sufferings that created that sort of genius and greatness, but it's because of the universe's will, ambition, desire, intention, purpose, also to create souls and then engineer messages and missions, ambitions onto them, and then transfer those souls into the living organisms, into each and every one of us, to ultimately carry out those missions, to fulfill those desires, to achieve, accomplish, appreciate all those ends, purposes, ambitions for which we are ultimately designed. But then again, everything within and inside of time that lives ultimately ends, dies, fades, disappears into nothingness, into the universe. And that's how life also continues, because it ends. And that's why everything has its time, because everything only lives for the amount of time that's been designated to it by the universe, and it cannot transcend or bypass the constraints, barriers of space and time, and the time mission designated to us by the universe, upon the fulfillment of which we are going to have to die. We will die, and there is nothing we can do to reverse, because it's irreversible, unavoidable,